Sometimes we act like a fool, not aware we're troublemakers. Sometimes we try to be cool, not being givers, only takers. Stop for a minute, stop and breathe for a minute. Don't get over your head, try to listen instead.
The weather is nice, so I'm going to soak these two hats that I showed you yesterday or in the previous video, and soak them so I can block them, and I'm going to put them outside to dry.
Think for a minute, who you wanna be for a minute. Don't get over your head, you're like everyone else, aren't you? You could gain from being a bit nicer, know when to talk and when to shut your mouth. You're so moody, always such a fighter. Try to open up your mind sometimes, you'll be just fine. You'll be just Sometimes we yell when we're sad, and sometimes we laugh when we're afraid. Sometimes we smile when we're mad, and some lines we wished we'd never said. Stop for a minute, stop and breathe for a minute. Don't get over your head, try to listen instead, won't you? Think for a minute, who you wanna be for a minute. Don't get over your head, you're like everyone else, aren't you? You could gain from being a bit nicer, know when to talk and when to shut your mouth. You're so moody, always such a fighter. Try to open up your mind sometimes, you'll be just fine. You could gain from being a bit nicer, know when to talk and when to shut your mouth. You're so moody, always such a fighter. Try to
The last couple of days, pretty much ever since I carded that fiber that I showed you in the last video, all I've been doing is carding fiber, new fiber, and spinning yarn. And I mean, I already made 200 gram skeins of yarn in 2 days, and that's not necessarily what I recommend if you're a spinner, because it's not very good for the back. However, what does go in my favor is that I spin woolen, so the draft somehow it's much faster than that small forward, draft that people usually do when they make worsted yarn. On the other hand, my yarn doesn't get usually fingering weight, so my average spin once it's plied and washed and it fluffs up because it's woolen spun, it becomes like Aran weight for like 5mm needles. And in the past couple of days, that's all I've been doing. So I made the nests with new fiber. These are the nests. And I have more in the living room. I don't actually know how many grams, or even if it's kilos. It's definitely more than 1 kilo that I have. But I'll show you what fibers I have blended. So these are the nests, and I have chosen to have white merino, gray Corriedale, and black llama. I have a similar yarn that I made a while ago. Instead of llama, I used alpaca, and that's in natural brown shades. This is more of gray shades. So I've been carding it on my carder, and I made, so again, I do it in batches of 25 grams. But I showed you bats last time in the last video, the bats that I made. However, this time, because usually when I spin, even those bats, I like to roll them like into a roll-log and kind of draft from the inside. So in order to save on space, I made them like this. Each 25 gram bat, when I took it off the drum carder, I took it off as a roll-log or roll-log. But I think roll-logs are these thin ones. I think these are called roll-logs. And they look like this. So these are the bats that you saw in the previous video of the other fiber, but they're kind of tighter. When I wound them, they're a bit tighter, not too tight, but they're a bit tighter. And it takes much less space to store them like that. And then when I spin, I take from this part and I spin from here, and that blends the fiber even more. So I'm going to continue carding these nests that I have and making roll-logs like that for myself. But since I already have 200 grams skeins of yarn, and this is another, and I have 50 grams spun up, and I think altogether this fiber that I carded and the yarn that I have spun, that's going to give me about half a kilo, 500 grams of yarn. Let me show you what I have. One of them is still a bit wet, but this is what I got. And this one is still a bit wet. I don't want to put it in the skein. I love these kind of natural variegated yarns, and still, ever since I took out that one with yak, and when I saw the yarn again, because sometimes I make stuff and just kind of put it in the box and forget about it. But lately, since I started using the yarn that I have in my stash, the store-bought yarn, I also started going through my handspun, and there is such beautiful yarn there, and I would like to work more with it, which I will. So I'm going to continue making nests and carding for new fiber blends, and making sweater quantities for myself, and then whatever stays after those sweater quantities, then I'm going to card up and put them out for sale. It's not available yet. I want to finish first these yarn for myself to have for a sweater quantity or for whatever I want to make. I still didn't decide. I want to show you the blocked hat, my handspun hat that I blocked earlier. I showed you before it was blocked, that one and the other one in the previous video. I love this hat. I really love this thing. So you could wear it like that. I mean, okay, so I could wear it like this with the folded brim. So there is basically over the ears, there is like 4 layers of thickness, and maybe put a pom-pom. But I also like it just as a 2-layer like that. And because this part, it's all bunched up from being gathered on both sides like that rather than decreases, it adds a bit of weight, so it does fall nicely like this. At least I like it. So I'm thinking that this is the way that I would like to wear it, and in that case I'm not going to put the pom-pom. I want to answer, before I finish, I want to answer one question. There is a few questions that I got lately, and the one that I'm probably going to answer in the next video is about gift knitting. One lady, she was asking me if I can talk more about gift knitting and my thoughts. But now, because I showed you the hat, the question that I got was from lady, how do I gather the cast on stitch? because the live stitches in the end, when I finish the hat, that's easy because you just thread the spare yarn through the live stitches and you cinch it, you know, like a drawstring. Well, with the cast on edge, it's pretty much the same principle, but you kind of do manually. This is a sock. I'm just going to show you. This is a cuff of a sock, and this, let's say, would be the yarn that I left longer for cast on edge. So if I thread the needle, so what I would do, hopefully you can see, is just go basically in and out. I don't know if you can see now because I can't see if you can see. So in and out, in and out, like that, and then gather it with that scrap yarn, and again do it like a drawstring. Now that part is not going to be as perfectly finished as the one where you thread the yarn through the cast on stitches. It still looks okay. It doesn't bother the look of the hat at all. But if you compare the two, that kind of closure is a bit more bulky than the one with the live stitches. But since it's a double layer hat, it doesn't matter at all, because if you want, you can just put that one inside. It wouldn't bother it even if it's on the outside, but if you want, you can put that one on the inside. That's the way that I do it for now. There are other ways. I could do provisional cast on, and then thread the needle in order to, or thread the yarn and then undo the provisional crochet cast on and cinch it like that. I might try that another time. It's just for now I didn't see the need for it, because that's the part that goes inside of the hat, and it looks just fine. So that's to answer that question. And that's that. Okay, so I hope you're well. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.
Don't need someone to save me, no, and don't come running to blame me. From miles away I can tell that something's off. The way you look and how you pause when you talk, I think you said enough. You said your love for me something brand new. You said this is something you would never do. Here we are in your car. Let me see who you are, who you really are. Yeah. Don't need you here to say you're sorry, 'cause if you're gonna leave me, then just do it. Don't take it slow, don't be gentle, no, I just gotta know. If you're gonna leave me, then just do it. Ooh, 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 yeah. Let's be honest for a second, yeah. You're being over your head, babe, 'cause there is no one other than me that can make you feel the way you feel when I hold you.